Hi, I'm Dealer Owner Taylor, Creative Director for JCPenney Salon, and I can't wait to share with you this great look from Ammon Carter at Lanza.
I'm here with my beautiful model Tara, and today we're going to start by giving her a very simple, very effective 3-step haircut. Once we dry that haircut and you can see how those long layers fall in very on trend, I'll show you some intricate braiding that's going to be perfect to take her into an evening event. Let's get started first with the sectioning of the haircut. Create a diamond shape on the top of the head beginning 1 inch back from the front hairline. Subdivide it into the crown section and the front section and secure with a loose braid along the perimeter. Then beginning in the front section, divide it in half for control and elevate at a 45-degree angle forward and cut from short to long. Next, bring the rest of the hair from that front section up and blend it in with the guide you just cut. 45-degree forward and cutting from short to long. Next, release the back section and divide in half like you did the front section. Take a small bit of the section you cut in the front and use it as your guide. This time, I'll elevate 45 degrees back and cut from short to long from front to back. And then work the two sections together and cut again from short to long. Next, I'll release the perimeter section, releasing the braid, and I'm going to very easy and simply cut a 1-length perimeter guideline, directing the hair over the shoulder so it lays nice and flat and cut nice and blunt. And then I work seamlessly through the back section, connecting the sides and the back, and a nice clean blunt perimeter line that's very on trend right now. Once I've finished, I'll take the hair in front of the ear and I'm going to go ahead and slide cut a soft angle through the front, create a little bit of softness around the face. On the opposite side, I can cross my hands and slide cut in the same fashion. A little bit of keratin healing oil in the palm of my hand, emulsify it through all the way through the mid-length and ends of the hair. Go ahead and give me a little slip and help aid in my blow dry time. Use a cushion brush for a nice smooth finish, section by section using the ABCs of blow drying. And then finishing off with our keratin healing oil lustrous finishing spray to get those flyaways and add that perfect, beautiful shine to our finished hair. So the most important thing when doing intricate braiding is really to make sure you have really clean sections and make sure all the hair that you're not working with in that section is kept out of the way. So you can see here I've kept it sectioned away with clips and just keeping some loose braids. And I'm working to begin with a center section that goes from the very front hairline all the way to the nape. I'm going to use some of my favorite product. I like the cocktail Lanza molding paste with just a little drop of the keratin healing oil treatment, because the paste gives me a little bit of grip, but the oil also gives me the slippage that I need to go ahead and make those braids nice and detailed and perfect. Now, I like to take really fine sections when beginning these braids. The finer sections you take in the beginning, although it feels a little bit tedious at first, it can just really make the big difference in those intricate details and making your work just really shine. So I'm taking section by section. This top braid is really just a standard French braid, or what we could consider like a cornrow. The interesting part of it is just the diamond section that goes narrowest in the front hairline all the way to the nape. So I just keep adding from one side into the next until I finish all the way through this diamond section. And then I'm just going to use that front center parting as my pivot point, and I'm going to create a series of braids, again keeping those sections nice and clean with those clips you can see there. And this one, now what I'll do is, this is called a French rope. So I start with 2 sections on that front hairline, fine sections just like before. Now this time those 2 sections are going to be twisted. So you can see I'm twisting them both in the same direction toward the face and then crossing them. And then once they've crossed, then I add a section, just like with the French braid, but rather than braiding it, I'm going to add it to the underneath twist, rotate it or twist it together so it joins that underneath piece, and then fold it over the top of the other one. And then I'll repeat the exact same step for the underneath piece. And I just add, twist, and really the key to this is just keeping the tension the exact same all the way around. So I just have to make sure that the hair that's in front of my fingers stays twisted with every section, and it'll create that beautiful rope-like texture that you see right there. Now I'm going to take another small section. Now this is one I just did because I like to add a little bit of element of texture. This is the exact same braid technique that I did in the top. That diamond shape along the top. Same technique, tiny little divisional braid that just kind of adds a little bit of element of interest. And now I'm going to take one final diagonal section here, leaving a small section in front of the ear. And this section is really, it's essentially a French braid where I'm only adding from the top side. So you can see I'm crossing there. And now I'll add sections in through when I'm adding from the top, but I don't add when I close off the other side. So close it off, and this way it becomes really, really easy for me to create like an over-directional type of effect and create some negative space between the braids while directing that hair right along that part line, and it creates a cool effect and a cool division between those two sections that's not just a usual cornrowed section. Keep my elevation nice and low. You can see I keep my fingers nice and low so it doesn't lift up too much, and I just tuck this right behind her ear there and make sure I'm just adding the one side. So it's really just a one-sided French braid all the way in through the nape there, and it's going to create and kind of finish off that look. Now I'm going to create a nice symmetrical balance on both sides, recreating the same exact technique, same exact braids on both sides. And then once I get to the back, I'm just gonna use a little hairpin or a bobby pin to just make sure those braids are laying nice and snug against the nape. I don't like when the braids start to float away from the nape there. So I'm just connecting and converging them all together. Taking a little flat iron, just wrapping those to create a nice soft wave. Now I would just never just leave those like they are, but you can see right here, I like to split that section, and a little trick to make it flow nicely is just to tuck portion of it behind the ear and then spread it open. And then that way you can make sure that this technique looks soft from the front, from the side, from the back, and it all works together nicely. Finishing it up with a little keratin healing oil hairspray, and there she is with her finished look.